All right, folks, welcome in. So, this is the final round of group stage with two very promising players. It is likely, if not already pretty much confirmed, we will see both these players again in the playoffs. We've got Sebastian, who's currently sitting top of the group. Sebastian is playing as the Mongols. And then we got Lewis, who is currently sitting in third place in the group, playing as the Dravidians. But if Lewis were to win 3-0 here, he would take first place. He would get that bye and go to the quarterfinals. Would be an amazing result. You have to consider with Lewis, this is his first time in Platinum League. So already being in the playoffs is going to be a very nice result for him. But then combine that with the potential to take first place. Exciting times for any Lewis fans out there. But yeah, the previous week, Sebastian swept ACCM 3-0. And that was just a stellar performance. So it's hard for me to look at Sebastian and not have a lot of faith that he's going to get at least one win here today. So surprising to see Mongols. We've got 6 civilization bans available for the players. And Mongols normally doesn't make it through because of that hunt bonus. And Sebastian already pushing in the hunt. Also, Sebastian is going for an early barracks with the Mongols. So he wants to go for early militia, most likely. On the other side, we've got Dravidians for Lewis. You pick the Dravidians mainly for the hybrid bonuses with the additional wood and the fishing bonuses to utilize the north. A big thing here, though, is will that dock actually complete and will the wood line be protected? If you ever see an opening like this, very frequently it just comes down to will the militia opening get immediate value? Because it comes at the cost of your own economy. So you could say high risk, high reward. But Sebastian needs to know exactly where to go with his army here. You do, roughly speaking, know where your opponent's town center will be, but the scout is really important. I think it's best to probably leave that zebra for later and move forward. And let's watch this from Lewis's perspective. Lewis is like, we're in the Dark Age. This is fine. Life is good. We're all good. Okay, sees the scout. Now, you don't want to move in a way that indicates that Drush is coming, right? If you double back too early, Lewis is going to know something's up. And walking around, looking around. Nothing I saw from Lewis's perspective would indicate that this is going to be militia. Sebastian comes back. Now you could be... Okay, that little double back right there could confuse you. But in the north, you're going to drop a dock. Now you look back at your wood line, and now there's militia. That reaction from Lewis is insane. That was insanely well done, but also he loses the villager. And just like that, guys, this build is insane. Obviously, you don't have a dock coming up. You won't have fishing ships. There's downsides to it as well. But Sebastian, I think, will be happy with a fast start at least. Lewis, though, will know that he can still get some fishing ships. And he just repositions his villagers onto the wood line. Unfortunately for him, he won't be able to push in that ostrich because the ostrich will be killed. And gold is looking pretty tasty there on the front for Sebastian to deny. A different player would go fast feudal and tower here. He's just going to use his micro. I find Lewis is a little bit more defensive between these two. And Sebastian's definitely the aggressor. But, ooh, that was really nice. That was definitely a thanks DE moment, though. Can we spam the emote? I don't know where that militia was going, and Lewis is going to clear everything. Wow. So the one militia kind of phased through it, regrouped back behind the vills and got stuck. That to me felt like a weird pathing thing. But then the other two, I think Sebastian's just busy with something else, and now his Drush dies. So honestly, all things considered, you have the fishing ships. You know your opponent will not. Lewis is pretty happy with that. He even still has the scout around to come home and push in the final zebra for food. Still has all of his goats. It's not like he got lamed or anything. And then down here, Sebastian's going to build a dock. This is pretty sneaky. This is also very risky. I think Sebastian, it would have benefited so much if he would have just kept those militia alive. Sometimes it's best to just be patient. Attack the house or something, and then have that military to upgrade in the next stage. And then pressure the wood line. A scout comes home from Sebastian just to push in the final deer. I mean, what do you do now? Do you produce more militia? You don't really have that much food. It's kind of tough. I think he can assume that there's a dock from Lewis in the north. But investing into even an additional dock to make some fire galleys feels relatively tough for me to justify. Because now with the bonuses, you can defend your fish by garrisoning, right? You don't find instant reward. If Lewis did his homework, he should know players are docking the south. And actually, it was Nikov against Sebastian who docked the south. And now Sebastian is going to dock down here. We've had a lot of Nikov mentions because we've been talking about this group today. And with the sad situation with Nikov's health, again, I just want to say if he's out there watching, love you, bro, and get better. For those who missed it, he's out for the season now. He had some big health issues. He's been in the hospital. I think he's being discharged today, but yeah, just some really rough times. And he wants to focus on getting better. But yeah, it was in the series that Sebastian and Nikov played where Nikov showed you can actually garrison the fish down here to protect from archers, protect those this whole area from archers. So I think the way to deal with this is not to actually bring land army. I think you might actually need to sneak a dock. Or just have your opponent focused elsewhere. I don't think Lewis spotted the barracks or the additional militia, guys. Imagine if those 3 militia would still be alive right now. Now, he'd obviously be up to 6. That could be so much more damage. But then again, Lewis, he doesn't know about these 3. Paranoid on the shoreline. Double checking for the dock, which seems like a natural play. And he's going for his own militia, which Sebastian maybe also hasn't scouted. There's the man-at-arms. Sebastian lurking around on the back. Sebastian does have walls that should position himself to defend from the man-at-arms. I find Lewis's damage control when he gets surprised by things to be one of the best traits of his game. And here's another example of it. I think that if he wants to progress as a player, he needs to not be fully surprised by things. But that is still insane. Lewis was never expecting the additional man-at-arms. He doesn't lose any villagers here. He gets the walls down for now, scrambles up the range, and then also has the man-at-arms here. Speaking of damage control, Sebastian sees it. Excuse me. Sebastian will get the walls real quick down on the wood line to protect all his vills. This villager's still trapped but for Lewis, and Lewis still doesn't have his first archer out. Still, archer range will just complete from Sebastian. But still no additional range units from Lewis. Or any ranged units at all. But he does have the fishing ships in the north. And this is with Dravidians, man. The extra carry capacity is great. But I'm telling you, people need to remember fishing lines, man. People keep forgetting about fishing lines. Getting that upgrade is super nice. It's the upgrade before guild nets now. I think Lewis has the resources to justify it, but it's just one more thing you have to think about now. In really aggressive games, it's difficult to remember. Jack London in chat says it's costly. It is costly, but it's very affordable for Lewis's situation. To be honest with you, I don't remember the exact cost. For me, I've been doing some testing and talking, and it's like kind of just like an instantly research the second you get the res. But I mean, that could be a lot of upgrades. Yeah, so what should happen now, I think, is the fishing ships can garrison here, and it's very difficult for Lewis to kill these vills. It's 50 food, 100 wood. Yeah, I mean, maybe he doesn't have the wood and he just chooses for the fishing ships. That's fine, too. You're not going to say no to that. Down here, the engagement happens, and the villagers are actually running away. I think the way you should play this is you should always just leave the villagers by the dock. Maybe I'm wrong. The villagers are on the move. Meanwhile, back here, the archers are still micro from Lewis. He does end up losing an archer. And now we have Sebastian come to pressure the fish. But guys, like, think about what Lewis has been up against. He was up against the early Drush. He was up against the follow-up man-at-arms. He really hasn't lost a lot. And he's Dravidians with the fish in the north. So I really like his position at the moment. There's the fishing lines upgrade. His food count's looking insanely smooth. He's playing in towards 2 archer ranges. He'll have very healthy range units and essentially a range unit war. As Sebastian has just not found the value to the attacks that he would have needed. But this was sneaky. This was a unique aspect of this game, but is fully giving up the north just does not seem like it has been enough right now. And Lewis is defended from the attacks, has passed the Mongols in the resources collected, has a healthy worker lead, and is walling up as well and playing towards Castle Age. Actually, it says a lot as well when you're under that much pressure and you never really needed the blacksmith upgrades, and he's on the way up. Lewis is in a great spot. I've got a smile on my face because, let's be real, I want a little bit of drama at the end of these groups. And this is what I mean about Lewis. It's like he's so good, man. And maybe there's less pressure on him too, because he knows he's going to need quite a few wins here. But I really wonder, like, what can Sebastian do? He'll try and pressure on water. In the past, he might full clear on water. He does end up killing a couple fishing ships. But now Lewis can garrison, so and he hasn't done so. He lost a couple, but he still has these fishing ships here. Sebastian does have a big army. If Sebastian were to get in, Lewis could have problems. Lewis is just focusing on the walls now. Very awkward walls, to be honest. But I think he is mostly walled. Big production from Sebastian to pressure on the water. Some fishing ships still working. There's still the southern fishing ships for Sebastian, but that's rather inefficient. Crazy to me, Lewis doesn't even have fletching yet. Like, he makes any mistakes and, uh-oh. Like, any mistakes that there's a hole in his wall and he just gets completely destroyed by this army. Again, just like ever so slightly more passive in his thinking compared to Sebastian. Which could be fine as long as you play towards a castle age advantage. And he will have a pretty significant castle age advantage here. Fishing ships are still alive. He's going to fight back on water. He'll drop the second TC, and he'll send his army around this way. Yeah, with crossbow, he can clear this. And Sebastian's sitting here like, wait, what? I'm sorry, you're up? Like, how are you in Castle Age right now? Uber Macho, I don't know what I would have predicted before the season. You could actually look up what my prediction was in the prediction contest. But I predicted 2-1 for Sebastian, I think. Before the cast began. And I thought like a 2-1 either way would be really fair, but a 3-0 for Lewis would have been my least likely result. I would have expected a 3-0 for Sebastian before I would expect a 3-0 for Lewis. But, I mean, Lewis is super far ahead in this game, as long as he can use the advantages. What I like is how he's had the perfect priorities here. The eco upgrades, the farms, everything's smooth. Going to reclaim water now in the north. Now he'll move forward with the crossbowmen. And Sebastian will have a lot of work to do. He is housewalling everything, so for the most part, the crossbows shouldn't be able to break through. But if there's any areas that he's missed, the crossbows could be an issue. I also like he did kill like 3 or 4 fishing ships at least. But yeah, now he's just going to lose the water in the north to the upgraded warships. Also, just having to relocate your wood line is pretty brutal. And then behind this, Lewis is just chilling, man. 2 town centers. Very smooth eco. There is an army here, which would need to be tracked eventually. Lewis still only 10 crossbows, but Lewis's economy should continue to just get better and better. The fishing ships will start to work again. Pretty soon, we could see gill nets and we could see fishing traps in the north as well. But Sebastian's done everything he needs to do from this position. Like a house wall everywhere or he's dead. So that's nice. And he does have a big army. And Lewis is not expecting this army to be here. He'll lose a crossbowman. He's definitely not expecting this army either. Lewis is getting ballistics right now for his crossbows. Obviously, Sebastian's going to have crossbows here in a minute. Yeah, I think both these players are very dangerous in the playoffs as well, guys. We know both of them are going playoffs at this point. Honestly, Lewis, Sebastian, and ACCM in playoffs. I mean, it's playoffs, top 12 AoE. They all should be dangerous. I don't know what the matchups are going to be, but like, I really think all 3 of them playing incredible AoE right now. I think Sebastian's going to hate the fact that Lewis has ballistics now. So he's just hoping to get away. I don't think he's seen an engagement that's made that clear yet. And, oh, okay. Yeah, now he knows. Now he knows. With those volleys, he knows ballistics is in, so he'll change the way he's microing. Sebastian will definitely know he's behind as well because he hasn't been in Castle Age at the same time. And he's also doesn't have the fish. He does have his university for ballistics. He also has a siege workshop. Essentially, Sebastian has to be aggressive and break Lewis right now. And Lewis just keeps circling back to it. If there was just one thing from him, it's like He'll get the lead. He'll get that eco lead, but now it's the important stage of the game. Can he hold it? I think a siege workshop on the hill is the #1 thing you need right now. You're already, you know, the crossbows, you have to match on crossbows, but it's likely your opponent could add some siege. The front of your base is very vulnerable. Okay, third town center. It's not unlike Lewis to add the eco, but this is where things start to get real shaky here. Because he's being pushed off of all the wood lines. There will be siege coming in, but that will still take some time. Credit to Sebastian here, because Lewis had a significant lead. And the fact that this game is playing out like Sebastian is still completely fine says a lot about his quality there. That's insane. 3 villager kills. All the wood lines being denied. Lewis has lost another villager here. There are the crossbows down here. I don't know what happened to the demo. Sorry, guys. I think we missed a demo. But Lewis has missed a lot of villagers on his wood lines here. It's actually an eco where he very much needs a market. And he hasn't built one yet. So buying and selling res, it gets valuable because you get like floating too much food and you need wood. I'm worried for Lewis that he's not going to have a gold secured. He's completely lost control of the front of his base. If this gate goes down, it's kind of problematic for him. Will try a bit of a counterattack, which feels important. But yeah, here comes the pressure onto the gold. And now he goes for the siege workshop. Is it too late, though? I mean, I guess the siege workshop will complete. But again, very reactive. It's been Sebastian who's been coming with the aggression. Just comes down to if Lewis is going to be able to hold from this. The siege workshop makes it difficult for Sebastian to move in. The micro there from Lewis was solid. He dives underneath it. Sebastian still has this to worry about. Sebastian's still just now going for the second TC. So Lewis has a massive worker lead. But these crossbows are in as well. But it's so easy to overextend if you're Sebastian, right? Because you have so many different things to look at. And then you go in with a small army, and that's what happens. Look at the micro, but still Lewis is going to get the clear. And then Lewis also got the clear here. Oh, that's a huge moment for him. That's a huge find. He's still on the gold. He's still got 3 town centers pumping out vills. There is a stone back there. So maybe with the stone, you put some villagers on stone and you play towards guard tower or something to protect the front of your base. 101 population for Lewis. 72 population for Sebastian. But it's a micro game now. And just when you think that there's going to be some problems for Sebastian, Sebastian finds a nice engagement. Where did those crossbows go? Sorry, the previous series was not really back and forth, and I wasn't warmed up. Don't know where those crossbows went. They're gone now. They're dead. Should have shown you that. I really think Lewis wins this game as long as he doesn't get pushed off this gold. If he can lock down another gold, it's a better situation. He does have this, but even still, like, he would have to make it all the way to Imp. The front of his base, he's got these 2 town centers here. Okay, chat's telling me I did show you. Okay, well, that's good. Don't remember it clearly, so glad you guys saw it at least. Lewis is on stone now, so it's a decision time between can you hold this position or not? Because if you feel you won't be able to hold this position, you might want to play guard tower. Like someone like Tata would play guard tower, but I think a lot of other players... Oh, as Lewis lands a monster shot. A lot of other players are just going to wait, and they will want a castle and then Imp to change the game. Army's there from Lewis, which I don't think Sebastian was expecting. And Sebastian's resources are still rising. Still only 8 on food for him, and it's 35 on food for Lewis. And Lewis just waiting. Patience. Okay, there's the first tower. So clearly a little bit of panic and concern. I'm okay with that, though, because I feel like if you make Imperial Age without taking significant damage, you win this game. So I am completely fine with the guard tower approach. Obviously needs to research the upgrade. Here, Sebastian's micro is unbelievable. He actually dodges the shot, leaves, but Lewis is still going to chase that down. Honestly, like, this is... Like, Lewis is probably going to win this game because he's playing absolutely unreal. But unbelievable that Sebastian has basically had to... He's been behind by 30 eco, and he's given himself this many good opportunities to still have chances here. Lewis with the micro. Lewis going for the dodges. Lewis needs a split, though. Lewis is having some problems. Over here as well, he's losing his town center. That's not the Imp TC. He still lost 19 eco this game. But, I mean, the tower's still there. Imp is still on the way. He still has decent army count, and he's still got enough gold for now. Yeah, nice to have that gold in the back. And just fully abandoning the front, I think, was a good move. And the towers, while they might not have fully saved the TC, I still think that's just a nice extra level of security. Just one more thing that Sebastian has to deal with. And that's what you want when you have this big of an economy. Never added any fish traps or anything out here, but who cares? It's all about farms at this point. It's all about Bracer, basically. And once Bracer's in, Siege no longer works, guys. Not at this level. Now, I'm going to say that, and Lewis is going to eat his shot probably, because I have a tendency to curse people, but I just think once Bracer's in and that one range difference is there, the crossbows will just win the game for Lewis. And his quest for first place, as unlikely as it might have looked, is on. You would need to win the final 2 games. There's the upgrades. Army's moving forward now. Is defending with the siege. Boom! 3 mangonels killed. Also continues to lose more villagers. But the theme is that he's always been able to produce more, and he's always had enough villagers to justify losing them. And more army will come out. More micro needed on the front. Crazy micro from both of them. But Lewis, he can actually go into Sebastian's base for the first time in a while. And yeah, now there's just simply a big range and upgrade difference. And more upgrades could come in for Lewis. Lewis could also switch to skirms with the Dravidians. And with the faster firing skirms can dominate. He's showing he can micro as well. The engagement here is okay because you have the upgrades now. And the siege still does really need to track back there. It's like 3 or 4 different armies they're looking at right now. And, all right, well, I mean, there's the shot for Sebastian. That's a positive, I suppose. But there's going to be a castle from Lewis to lock down that area of the map, which does somewhat protect the gold, somewhat protects the wood line. And he's in Imp. Like, the eco just paid off. And, yes, villagers have gone down, but Lewis has always had the setup to replace them. And it's just had super clean economy since early Castle Age. I like the Elite Skirm upgrade from Sebastian because you have to try something that's just not inferior crossbowmen. So skirms do help you a bit more to have some tools here. But it's still Castle Age skirmishers where it gets extremely difficult. Look at the micro, guys. This is so funny. Like, obviously we're kind of used to it for the majority of high-level players, but like Lewis also could just patrol and look back at his eco. It doesn't really even matter at this stage. He's microing there. He still hasn't killed these crossbows in the back. But yeah, I think Sebastian, he's gonna think back in these moments to the militia. The 3 militia he lost near the town center. The follow-up man-at-arms that didn't kill any villagers this game. And game 1 goes to Lewis. Well played. Yeah, so when you have Mongols that play, they have the ability to end the game very quickly. And for that reason, people ban the Mongols or first pick the Mongols, which I think Sebastian might have done in this case. The early investment from Sebastian didn't find enough reward. And on this map, beyond Hunt, you also have the fish, which Lewis was able to take perfect advantage of. I think there were some moments in the game where it was maybe a little bit iffy on the defense for Lewis. But it was a position in the game where Sebastian basically had to play at 100%. He had to play perfectly to have a chance of coming back because he had fallen too far behind in eco. Very patient approach from Lewis. Again, his adaptability is awesome. I feel like if the game plan, even if the game plan isn't there or the scouting isn't there, he showed that he's able to adapt into it very nicely. And after losing the first villager, I thought it could get much worse for him. I'm telling you, though, Sebastian's going to regret losing the additional 2 militia. I actually want to go back and look at that real quick. We know why he lost the first militia. It, like, morphed into the wood line, weirdly. But, okay, so he loses that. But then what is he doing in this moment? Okay, so he fixes his eco, and then he looks back and his militia are dead. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. Maybe he was looking down here as well. All right, so I think this game is going to be kind of perfect because if it's just over the top ridiculous, anyone who's questioning all the nerfs that the devs just pushed out for the Mapuche and the Incas and any Champy Civ will maybe not be questioning it for much longer. But here's the deal. If we're talking live, like 12 hours ago, 14 hours ago or something, they nerfed the Champy Warrior. They increased the cost and the train time, a bunch of different things. This series was played. Obviously, they pushed out a patch at the time. We didn't really know. This series was actually played right before the patch. So, we got Incas for Sebastian. We got Mapuche for Lewis. Both these civs have settlements. Both these civs have the super speedy Champies. They have since nerfed the speed. And Sebastian already trying to be as frustrating as possible towards Lewis here. But again, well played from Lewis. He knew it was coming. He blocks it off. He brings in his boar. I'm expecting an early barracks from both of them. I think that's the reason you pick these civs. And the barracks is already up for Sebastian. Now remember some of the bonuses that the Incas have for this. So your settlements and your houses give you extra pop space, which means you don't need to invest nearly as much wood into the things you typically would. You also do have cheaper food costing units. So Champies cost a little bit of food. And you also get the free llama. Llama is dead. Let's not forget him, though. Rest in peace. So, yeah. I've been saying that I think the Incas are the best with this. I think Incas will remain one of the best with this, even after all the upcoming nerfs. But the Mapuche have the additional... Oh, sorry, confusing the civilizations, actually. What do the Mapuche have? Okay, infantry, slingers, and skirmishers get extra HP. So that would apply to the Champies. And feudal, they get additional HP. And you do have the forger bonus as well. But this has been Sebastian just trying to be a nerd. Like, this is the issue people have had with the Champies, is there's just so much early damage you could do. Look at this. Sebastian sees this. He scouted this area. He sees the deer getting pushed. And he's like, ha, that's funny, bro. Enjoy your deer. Because I'm eating meat tonight. I'm eating your boar underneath my town center. And while I'm at it, I'm going to be celebrating first place in the group because he needs one win, and then he'll end up being first. Well played from Sebastian. The speed of the Champy, the fact that you could spam the Champies so easily, the economic flexibility, all this stuff plays its role. And Lewis did try to bring in the first boar ahead of time. The second boar he wasn't protecting because... he was pushing in the deer, and he gets the deer, and then I think he finds out his boar is gone. So Lewis will plan for life without the boar. Actually, does he even know? He's looking around like he thinks it's over here. I don't think he ever scouted to confirm it. He's definitely playing like he's unsure. Obviously, he lost a couple random sheep as well. This is really smart. Don't even try and take the sheep home. It's about denying it from the opponent. Guys, if this sheep ever gets found by Lewis, I will give 20 subs, okay? We'll make it interesting. If Lewis ever finds that sheep, we'll give some subs. More Champies are going to be on the way from Sebastian in theory. He has to fix his eco. But again, he's got the settlement on the wood, and he's got it on the gold. And so, because of that, and because of the extra pop space, he doesn't have to invest any wood anywhere else, really. He can load everything up on food, and he can keep spamming these Champies. T90, you said no betting? No, I just said don't be obnoxious about the bets. There's a difference. And this is... We're betting subs for the community. It's charity. I can't help myself. I've never end up benefiting from this, but yet I like to make the bets because it makes it interesting. So, guys, if your opponent on this map is out of food, they have an area to go, but that area is obviously very, very risky. If this would be found, I think it's game over. But Lewis feels like he has to take the risk. Really surprised he never went for his own Champies. I feel like one of the bigger reasons you pick these civs was for the Champy rush. Sebastian never scouted that, though, so for now he doesn't know the villagers are out there. Lewis has no loom, too. I mean, those villagers would be dead. But he walls up this settlement. He walls up this settlement. Are you guys beginning to see why they nerfed the Champies? Look how many there are. Sebastian still has an awesome eco back at home. Again, though, in my take and my videos I've made on this, it's not just the Champies. It's also the Incas. The extra pop space from the settlements, the llama, and the house. You can do so much. As Sebastian is also on food in the middle. But he's still spending resources on champies. And Lewis is on the way to feudal age. Lewis is going to push in the deer. Now, that's interesting. Let's see if Sebastian notices that. Because the deer does two things. Obviously, that's a target to get some damage. But that also doesn't make you think your opponent's in the middle at all on any of these deer. And Sebastian's got enough units. He's probably going to send one unit over there to stop that. And now you see two vills. And no, Lewis, you should have never pushed the deer. I swear, him pushing the deer is going to be the biggest thing in this game. Because now you go over there to stop the deer. And now he's like, wait a second. Why were there two villagers? Aha. Aha. Oh, man, that's rough. That's rough. I mean, he's trying to make his own champions. He will be in feudal age to upgrade his champions. However, it will be about 3 champions for Lewis. And right now, it's 11 and counting for Sebastian. He's about to get housed, by the way. So he's... Oh, no, he's about to get housed. Normally, this would be really bad. He'll just build another settlement, though, and he will no longer be housed for a very long time. The champions are here, and Lewis is getting completely massacred. Game 1, Sebastian wasn't able to get the damage done with the early infantry. Game 2 is #1 pick on the draft after 6 bans, by the way, and neither player had banned the Incas. Sebastian dominating with the champions. This is looking really bad for Lewis. 2 villagers dead. And Lewis, he never knew what hit him. And 6 bans. I feel for someone who's getting championed. Obviously, the devs eventually nerf this, but like 6 bans and you don't ban it, and then you're sitting here just like, what was I thinking? He's repairing the settlement for now. Did he get Champy Runner now? Nope, no Champy Runner upgrade yet. So these are still just Champy Scouts. Champies can build outposts, which is kind of an unexplored aspect of this. But it makes sense on this map to maybe build a couple outposts to see if you're going to be attacked. And another barracks there for Sebastian. But yeah, he's played it to its maximum. He has 2 houses the whole game. And he's at 65 pop space. It feels like you're playing as the Huns when you play with the Civ. Especially with the Champy spam. He doesn't have Loom, though. Wow, that's crazy he didn't have Loom. He had that much control, he thought it was going to be fine. Okay, Champy Runner is in. Is Champy Runner good enough, though, to make up the difference in the military numbers? I'm going to assume no. These 2 villagers are still just permanently repairing. The Champies also have the same speed. At this time, they had the same speed, the Dark Age and the Feudal Age Champions. That will be changed, so the Feudal Age Champions are a bit faster. So that would be an advantage for Lewis here. And obviously the Champy Runner upgrade will come in for Sebastian as well. He's up a couple villagers. He's up with worker efficiency. He also has access to all the food, which the opponent really does not. And Sebastian is just so far ahead here. It's not even close, guys. It's not even close. I don't see any way back. For Lewis, it would have needed to be in Feudal Age. He could have gone for archers. Get a fletching timing, but like Lewis is just getting championed. And I don't really know what to do against it beyond, well, A, you got to bring in your boar instead of pushing in the deer. Match it with your own champions, but have slightly worse bonuses for it, which feels rough. Or you go back to the Civ draft where you have 6 bans and you ban it. This is why they nerfed the champions, okay? What would be the biggest content creator thing is we're going to upload this video to YouTube as this is why they nerfed the champions. And then 3 days later, I could make a video titled, they over-nerfed the champions. What did they do to the champions? That's what I should do. I don't know if I'm going to do that. But if you're wondering why, I mean, this is just ridiculous. Again, Sebastian built like 3 houses the entire game. He was able to spam this unit, which was very fast, with a super flexible eco. It's not just the champions. It's the settlements. It's the other bonuses that the Incas have, and it's also the map as well, taking so much of the food. I really wonder, like, Lewis had a tough situation regardless, but I swear he was getting away with the food here, and him trying to push this deer gave it away. Like, I think the deer screwed him over so hard. If he doesn't have to push this deer, he doesn't need to take any fights. But then he starts to push the deer, and then Sebastian sees it, and then Sebastian sees these vills, and then naturally assumes, oh, they must be headed over there, and then the rest is history. Like, if Lewis doesn't try and push that deer, if Lewis just masses his champions and just kind of waits for the champion runner upgrade, maybe he could be more patient. Maybe he could change all of his decisions from there. But just showing his hand there was just brutal. So, GG. There was no sheep find, unfortunately, guys. No gifted subs. If you thought that was going to happen, you got your hopes up. But, yeah, well played to Sebastian. We now have 1-1. Let me double-check the situation. I believe this should lock Sebastian in the first place. Obviously, we're going to have the third game played anyways. And this could have ramifications on second and third in the group. But just based on what I've been saying, I believe that result should lock Sebastian. Yeah, first place for Sebastian. It will be second place for ACCM regardless, because if Lewis wins this next game, he still loses the tiebreak up against ACCM. So I think that's the situation right now. Right now, we got 9 for Sebastian, 8 for ACCM, and then 7 for Lewis. Okay, we've got Seychelles. Yeah, so I'll tell you what our base was pointing out. Is when this was played, so yesterday morning, right? First off, they wouldn't have known the result of the ACCM series and how that would have affected things. And then also, it was at that time, after like a week and a half of figuring things out, that the Nikov situation changed a couple things. So, all our bases pointing out, this final game, both players are like, could have a massive effect on how the series plays out. You know, fighting for potentially first place still. We now know Sebastian is a lock, so should expect intensity. They won't have the full picture because it was played before some of those other results came in. Now, Mayans for Sebastian is crazy. Like, this is not a civilization I would have necessarily expected here for a lot of different reasons. Like, first off, if we do see a civ that typically struggles with Navy, it would be okay if it's a more mobile civ that I think can do a lot of flexible things to do some damage, like with mobility on this map. But I find Mayans are both not a... Well, actually, hold up a second. I find that I actually don't know a damn thing, chat. Because I'm looking at this. Fully upgraded Galleon. Fully upgraded Carracks. Fully upgraded Fast Fires. Fully upgraded demos? And then they also, this is new, they get the Catapult Galleon now. So they never had like a cannon boat. They get a Catapult Galleon. And they do also get shipwright. So it's actually not the worst naval civ ever. It's not going to compete with the Italians, because the Italians have all the discounts and the Italians have like better overall water tech tree. But the water side's actually not as bad as I thought it was for the Mayans. So yeah. So anyway, Sebastian moving forward with the 2 villagers here will likely dock the middle. For Lewis, he still has a decision to make, and if he wants to dock the middle or dock the outside. But yeah, these could lead to some really long games. So typically you want civs that are insane in late game. Especially with like fortifications. So Koreans and Japanese with their towers are very strong. Sam says, sorry if it's too personal. I know Nikov stepped out. Was it due to health being really bad, or more didn't want to delay platinum further? Yeah, so it is personal, but it's okay. I've spoken to Nikov. I'm able to tell the community about it. Guys, his health is really bad. Again, emergency surgery. It was like very dangerous. It was not like a happy-go-lucky situation. Was then out of the hospital and then was readmitted for other things that were very concerning, and he's had a really rough week and a half. So what we tried to do, obviously, priority is Nikov, you want to take care of yourself, but we did our best to communicate with all the players, communicate with Nikov, and we just basically did everything we could to just manage the situation for him. And then I was factoring Nikov's situation with everyone else's situation, right? And in the end, Nikov, while we still had some options, Nikov was just like, I need to focus on getting better. I appreciate all the options you're giving me, T90, but I need to be healthy. And it is only adding more stress to me that we are trying to conclude this and whatever ideas you have for me, basically. He's like, I just got to get better. He's like, send me to golds. It's all good. I want to be healthy again. And we talked for a very long time. So that's the situation. It's ultimately Nikov's decision. We had some fallbacks to potentially to tweak a couple things. I mean, dude, guys, you have no idea how much time and calls and conversations we've had on it. But yeah, that's it. So, and yeah, I respect Nikov a lot, and I want him to be healthy first and foremost, and he'll bounce back. And it's just unfortunate, but we are human beings, and things happen, So, but yeah, if you have any more questions, you can ask. Nikov himself will make a statement eventually, probably on socials. But he told me everything I was able to say and share, and he said he's completely fine with me talking about it to you guys. So there's some level of transparency on that. So, all right. So Lewis, he doesn't see this right now. He's docked the outside. He's scouted the middle. He's thinking about water, but he hasn't scouted the barracks down here. So he's looking around. He doesn't see the barracks. I think you would also look for the barracks here because you might see the man-at-arms from home, rather. But yeah, forward man-at-arms from Sebastian, and even though the Mayans do technically have a really good navy, in his mind, I think he's thinking all about the land. And then it's an afterthought what type of navy the Mayans actually have available. But there's got to be alarm bells going off for Lewis right now because he's not seeing anything. Like, there's no barracks here. He didn't see a second docks. He sees Vils on gold, so, like, he's looking for a second dock right now. And still just fully unaware that there's a forward barracks here. About to be man-at-arms and probably archers. T90, can we set up a GoFundMe for Nikov? I'm not doing anything like that until I talk with Nikov first. I'm talking to Nikov, and we're going to sort out something for him, if necessary, 100%. So that's, believe me, I'm 3 steps, 5, 10, 15 steps ahead of you on that. But we're going to, I'll keep in touch with Nikov, and yeah, I'll let the community know for sure. All right. Surprise from Lewis, or for Lewis. He loses the villager. The men-at-arms come in. He just completely, he didn't expect the pressure, and he's been incredibly greedy. He's gone for the fishing ships on the outside. He, I guess, was just completely surprised by this, but he does need to adapt into it now, and now he adapts into the archery range. Sorry, by the way, I have limited time to talk because we have a game here. I know there's a lot of different things happening. I wasn't trying to come off as insensitive on any of this. I just have, like I got 12 seconds of time to talk about anything that's not this game right now. Not trying to discount any questions. I know it's a lot to take in right now. Lewis lost another villager over here. I mean, when you have this much pressure happening, very easy that one villager gets forgotten. I'm not sure what happened, but I think there's a hole here still. Feels like that villager wandered out to just automatically build because she was told to build something that was part of the inner wall, maybe. The thing is, Lewis can stabilize from these situations, right? There's a clear difference between them. If you look back to game number 1, like Sebastian goes aggro, Lewis plays heavy on the eco. To the point where if Lewis loses a little bit of eco, it's still a very adaptable situation. So we've got the gold. Now, I'm just shocked he hasn't chosen to tower here. I think a lot of players would tower. It protects your wood and it protects your gold. But he's going to play ranged units. What Sebastian's able to do behind this is you get the mill on the shorefish and on the berries. And then you also get the mill here on the box turtles. And he is denied that 600 food from Lewis. But, I mean, Lewis has kind of stopped the bleeding. It's cheaper for him to go up to the next stage. He's always had the fishing ships out here. And also has the double dock as well. I think Sebastian has looked around. He's double checking to see if there's any dock towards the middle. Doesn't see anything yet. But Sebastian really more than anything just focusing on his eco at the moment. But Castle Age is not really as close as it will be for Lewis. I think it's very similar to game number 1. Like Lewis on hybrid maps, he adds fish, he delays upgrades, and he just says, all right, kill more. Go ahead, because I'm going to add more eco. And then Sebastian's the exact opposite. Sebastian goes for the upgrades. Sebastian goes for the damage. But it's just, at times for Lewis, I feel like if he actually just, like, did something preemptive, a little bit of scouting, a little bit of upgrades, he'd be in a better position. Another villager goes down. The fletching will be on the way. He is on the way to Castle Age. The eco count's still looking pretty good. And, ooh, big moment in the game. Big moment in the game. Is that a patrol? Oh, man, Sebastian actually finds that. That's huge. That's such a good play from Lewis, too. To sneak the side docks to go kill his fish is a great strategy here. For Sebastian to notice that is unbelievable. Sebastian's still losing some archers over here, but that's worth it. You know that your opponent will sneak up the dock, and you're going to deny it as well. And Lewis will see he's been found. 2 more villagers down. Assuming that villager ends up getting sniped. Now, you could just go again. You could just commit the villagers again to the more forward dock. Because Sebastian's still very busy. And, oh. Get in. Get in, you idiot. Get in. Oh, he saved. He is saved. 1 HP in the transport ship. Damn. Did he plan that? Well, okay. He had the transport over here. That's interesting. This dock is really cool. Because remember that one game we saw with I think it was Vinchester and Lucho, and the players never thought about using the transport to dock out here that much? These islands become really important. This guy's got his own island now. Let that be a lesson to you all. You might be on 1 HP. You might feel like there's no chance in life. There might be no monks around to heal you, no transport to pick you up. But if you keep fighting, if you keep working, you will soon have your own little colony with 2 tiles of gold and 3 tiles of stone in a dock. But, you know, that's something. That's something. Lewis is on the second TC. Lewis is adding fish like crazy. And, oh, Sebastian actually spots it. So, ooh, wow. So, Sebastian has seen 1, 2. Is he going to find this? 3 docks now. Yeah, so it's just full fish boom from Lewis. Fish boom and boom. And it's going to be full land send from Sebastian. Sebastian wants to play crossbowman. And if Lewis had a lead skirm right now, he would completely smash this, and he'd have such a nice position. But he doesn't have a lead skirm yet. The armies are going to find each other in the middle, and Sebastian's bringing more villagers, too. The siege workshop will eventually complete. Lewis sees the army. Lewis will drop the 3rd TC. Did he get any of the eco upgrades for the fish? He did get fishing nets, at least. And Sebastian with a beautiful little gate there. Blocks it off so the siege workshop can complete. And Lewis will micro as many crossbowmen down as he can. But he might end up losing some of these skirmishers here if eagles come out too. I don't know. It's pretty good. If you end up killing the crossbowman count and it's just siege, then you could just go for a knight or something. That's not what Sebastian would have wanted. He does have more crossbowmen over here. He will drop the 2nd town center at home, but 16 eco lead for Lewis. It is unfortunate that, like, Lewis, at this point, probably feeling like this could take him into the 1st place position, you know? We know that's not the case. Gillnet's now for Lewis. Yeah, this is... I think maybe this is how you should play the map. So many people fight water in the middle. I guess water in the middle adds value, but I really like the sneaky transports and the fishing ships out there. Yeah, and it's really tough to recover your economy now if you're Sebastian because you have to add so many farms because you don't have the fish, and it takes your focus away from the micro. There he wasn't adding farms. Maybe Sebastian will want a dock, actually, to go pressure those fish. That's the thing, is there is no resistance whatsoever there. Lewis is just simply getting away with it. But if Lewis was up against some Navy, it would change the game a little bit. A long-term, Lewis is going to need this gold and this gold. But for now, he's got enough gold back here. And crossbowmen run around from Sebastian. Has killed 4 eco this game and lost 0, but is still behind by 30 eco because Lewis just continues to spam fishing ships, and Sebastian's done nothing to deny it. He knows it's out there. He's scouted the docks. I'm not sure what he's assuming is the case. I think he's just putting all of his focus here. Eagle for Sebastian. Goes down to the town center. I think there's going to be a click for Sebastian at some point here. Maybe you can't because you're so fixated on the crossbow micro. But, I mean, you've got to have the awareness to know that your opponent's fish boom is why they have such a big lead right now. You can even see the fishing ships there. The micro for Sebastian continues. Lewis goes for the attack round there. God, the micro from Sebastian is so good. It's so good. He even has a mangonel down here. Now, Lewis showed he has a stable. I think it would make sense for Sebastian to consider monks. Like, just a couple monks near the siege would make sense. There's a lot of different areas to focus on right now. And I think it's very easy for the player who's behind economically to just get hit by the siege from Lewis, especially when you're fighting up the hill. It's extremely difficult for Sebastian. On the backside, he gets destroyed. I say destroyed, not yet, but it's still just so difficult for him. Lewis loses another mangonel. Man, the amount of times that Sebastian has gone into fights where he should always lose and now micros it is insane. But it's like, what do you want? Do you want that level of micro where you have to get the kills? Or do you want the position where you have the eco lead and you can afford a couple losses? I think you want Lewis's position. And Lewis gets Sebastian gets rocked by Lewis again. Lewis still holding. Lewis is getting +2 armor for knights. He will drop a tower here, which actually gives him the ability to play towards water there. And Sebastian's still running away with the crossbowman. Guys, I'm kind of surprised that Sebastian never once, after seeing all of this, never once tried to dock the outside. The reason for it, I've already given. It's just because he's full focused here. And he picked this Civ to play land and not play water. But there is not a single boat beyond the fishing boats and the transport ship to protect any of this. And Lewis is dreaming right now with that eco. Lewis is going to go for a big switch in the Knights. Has the food ego to go for +2. And he's just kind of braced himself for the attacks. He hasn't killed any eco this game, but he's expanded his own economy. Did lose another mangonel there. Does have +2 armor in, and also will have bloodline. So these crossbowmen should get killed off. Now the game changes a little bit. Because now suddenly knights are very dangerous. And the knights could always counterattack at some point. We also have Lewis in the middle making some hulks to pressure what's left of the fish from Sebastian. Lewis will land his own shot here. Okay, no he won't. Never mind. He loses the mangonel again. Was looking over here, though. Knights get the clear up. And I think the knights all would need to converge in this area now. If Lewis can clear this, he can just drop a castle in the area and everything's fine. That shot's not what he wanted. You need to clear the crossbows, and oh my god, Sebastian. Again, it's just mangonel after mangonel. You expect him to lose, and he keeps pushing. Knight counterattack will make it awkward for Sebastian, though. Losing the siege workshop makes it awkward for Lewis. Lewis has the eco lead. Can he field enough army to kill this? He's certainly going to have the knights. Knights are still over here. I don't even know if Sebastian's looking there. So Lewis could get a lot of kills. Lewis does have another mangonel on the way, but the siege workshop is going to go down again, so he can't even make it. He just continues to lose his base here, guys. The knights are into the back. Sebastian sees it, has no defense. This push from Sebastian is unreal. Again, that's the explanation. If you're wondering why he never went to the outside, it's because he can do this, but Lewis, that's good enough. He'll clear out all the siege. He'll clear out all the crossbows. It's not the hero shot that we can clip and spam later, but that might be enough for the clear up. We also still have the knights over here. Sebastian still doesn't have much army there at all, and he no longer has the army on the front. Lewis has taken so much time, but I think maybe he's officially held. And Lewis wins 2-1. The unfortunate thing is that Sebastian still remains first place because of how things played out in the group. So tough luck for Lewis. Lewis is going to be an absolute beast in the playoffs. And great games. Great games. A great series. You could just tell, man, that both these players have so much potential. The cool thing, too, is I watch Sebastian and Lewis play. They're playing at an insane level, and I actually feel like they could rise and they could even get better. And we should be good. Sebastian, hello, if you can hear me. How are you feeling after a intense end to the group stage?
Hello, T90. How are you doing?
I'm good, man.
I'm happy to have it first, I think. So, really happy.
I mean, it couldn't have really been any closer there. You probably went into the series feeling like whoever lost that series was going to get second place, correct?
Yeah, correct, actually.
Yeah.
I was a bit sad yesterday after losing. I was quite sad.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I'm gonna obviously I'm gonna ask you about the playoffs, but because we just had 5 rounds to watch you play and you end up first place, I wanted to just ask you a little bit about the whole season, if you don't mind. I don't know how easy it's going to be, but thinking back to the first round, before any of the games were played, what were your expectations? What were your goals coming into this season? Looking at your group and just knowing your own capabilities.
Yeah, so I felt I had a hard group. I mean, every group is hard. There is no easy groups. But I think especially like Group B and Group C were really tough. So it was hard to secure, but there were really strong players, and it was like I felt like the level was quite even between the 6 players.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say there was more potential to be the first in the group. So that was the ambition. So that was the positive I found of being on this group. It was like there is no clear top 1, so maybe I could be the top 1. That was the goal.
Is that surprising to you to say, considering just like your journey, that you're now at that point where you feel that that's the case, or is that just kind of the reality?
I wouldn't say I'm on that point. Like, it was super close. I was able to pull it off this time, but yeah, I need to work harder for sure.
Okay,
it was super close.
Well, after the first 2 rounds, you beat Andy 2-1, and then you beat Running 3-0. That was looking pretty good. And then you move in. Obviously, the sets against Nikov never happened, so technically there's only 4 rounds. But then you lose 3-0 to ACCM. You beat ACCM 3-0. Yeah. My bad. So you beat ACCM 3-0 with how close you think it's going to be. I didn't get to interview you, so what were your emotions after that last week?
Yeah, I was not expecting a 3-0 against ACCM, obviously.
Yeah.
Maybe I was expecting like a 2-1 on either side. So yeah, I think that was the key point for me. Winning that 3-0 gave me a lot of flexibility for yesterday or today.
Yeah.
Losing against Lewis, right?
Yeah.
So that was key for me. Also one thing I forgot to mention, like you said, how was the group and all the whole rounds. Like the main challenge for me was that a lot of my teammates, like ACCM and Nico, were in the same group. That was tough for me because we didn't train as much, and it was hard to. Like, I was facing Nico first, so I didn't train much with Nico. Then I was facing ACCM, so I didn't train much with ACCM. So that was the hard part for me on this season.
Nikov complained to me after the draw. He said, "What are you doing, putting me with my teammates?" Obviously, the draw was random to a certain extent. What we try to do is if someone has teammates, or whether that be like people they play from their country or their clan, we try and have those sets as early as possible. So that's all I can say on that. But yeah, you obviously are direct competitors up until, in this case, it would have been round 3. So did you train a lot? Did you train with other people from different teams, or were you just like pretty confident with your approach and didn't need to put a decent amount of time?
Yeah. Well, I train with different people for sure. Of course, otherwise it was hard to train. But I train a lot with Wonders as well, like Lucho, Prisma.
Okay.
Then Nico or ACM when it was convenient, when we were not facing or we were able to face. Of course, I stopped the training. But my main strategy, I guess, was to be to be sharp. I was like playing a lot of ladder just to be sharp skill wise.
Okay.
And that was my main strat for this season. And then obviously watching some Rex here and there. The main thing was the water patch. That was the main thing. It was hard
Yes.
to stay motivated knowing that the whole meta was about to change. That was the main issue. I think most of the players experience.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Were you surprised that in this series today that there was no ban on Incas? Because like we added an additional ban because of players' concerns with the new civs and the water patch, and like the majority of all the other sets had the bans on Incas, and you get them first pick. Was that a shock to you?
Yeah. Well, I was surprised when I saw Inca Omen. I was like, zero hesitant. I was just going to pick it, of course. Especially for Bali, because on Bali it has to be insane.
Yeah,
like it's stronger. You imagine on Bali where you get all the map control and you take the fish and rabbits.
Yeah.
So I was quite happy with getting Incas, but it came with the downside that I lost Italians and Dravidians. So then suddenly like my Seychelles plan was like destroyed. He had the 2 really strong ships from the map. And I had to pick another civ. I picked Mayans, but that's decent, but not good enough. So yeah, that was the issue.
Okay, awesome. Well, I wanted to ask you, Liquipedia is not updating for me here, unfortunately, for the viewers, but we know your group. We know kind of where you'll go. So I just wanted to just ask you, obviously, first place, you get a bye, which has got to be nice to just be able to relax and watch where everybody else goes. But you're going to be sitting there. You're first in Group C, and you're going to be waiting for how the games play out. But, you know, the favorite probably to make it in your side of the bracket is probably on the other side, like Leary there or something. So just overall thoughts, making playoffs, having the bye to the quarterfinal. What players do you want to face from like, just for fun perspective? What players do you think are the most dangerous right now in this season of TTL?
Okay.
A lot of questions. I know I just asked you 4 different questions, so feel free to.
It's fine. It's fine. Like I will face whoever comes, and I will try to beat everyone. I think I'm on a good level, so I will give my best. I will try to remain confident. Obviously, probably the hardest one will be like Hero Aliri will be the hardest one.
Yeah.
Hard, Pinch. Those players would be really a big challenge because they are really, really good mechanically. They will be hard to beat.
Yep.
So those are the main ones I would be like most afraid, let's say. But of course, I can beat them. I just need to be fully confident and train. And I will feel more confident against other players, maybe more strategy players or maybe slower on the APM. But I will be tough, whoever it is.
Okay. I mean, it'll be very interesting because over the next couple days, we find out who is playing in the series before you. We don't even know right now. Second in Group D. Second in Group D could be Sato, Mihai, Vivi, I think maybe technically Viper. And then like third in Group A is, I think that one's likely Tato. So there's a lot to find out, but I guess that it seems like you have a good mindset that where you're at the highest level now. So you just gotta be ready to face anybody. So yeah, well played, Sebastian. Best of luck to you, dude. Congratulations on winning the group. I like your mindset, and obviously I've got to watch you grow as a player over the course of all the TTL seasons, and yeah, your hard work's paying off. Good luck to you, man.
Thank you very much for the kind words. I will try my best. So thank you very much. Thank you for the tournament as well. It's looking fun, and especially now on the final rounds, there'll be a lot of hype.
All right, sick,
so best
dude.
of luck in the casting. Enjoy.
Thank you, Sebastian.
Yeah.
See you.